Among these have been the invention of the automobile, the telephone, radio, television, talking pictures, airplanes, radar, and wireless telegraphy, all produced by ever-changing processes of the human mind. Change is the tool of human progress, in the affairs of nations not less than in the lives of individuals, and a business or industry which neglects to keep moving forward through change is doomed to failure. The great American way of life, which has provided the people with the highest standard of living the world has ever known, has been the product of continuous change. The law of change is one of nature's inexorable laws, without which there could have been no such reality as civilization. Without the law of change, the human race would still be where it started from, on the plane with all the other animals and creatures of the world, which are eternally bound and limited by a pattern of instinct, beyond which they never can rise. Through the law of change, popularly known as evolution, the human race has slowly left the baseline of the animal family, where the destiny of all living things was fixed by a life pattern of instinct, and has evolved into higher and still higher degrees of intelligence, until man now is something infinitely greater than the 30,000 man-made gods whom he has created and worshipped since the beginning of his long and tortuous trip upward. The entire history of mankind, the record of life in all its forms, is a clearly marked pattern of perpetual change. No living thing is the same 2 minutes in succession, and this change is so inexorable that the entire physical body of man undergoes a complete change and a replacement of all the physical cells of the body every 7 months. The law of change is the Creator's device for separating man from the remainder of the animal families. It is also the device by which the eternal verities of life, the habits and thoughts of man, are continuously reshaping themselves into a better system of human relations, leading toward harmony and better understanding among men. And it is one of the devices one must use in mastering fixed habits which cause the fear of physical pain. Through the law of change, the habits of men which do not conform to the overall pattern and purpose of the universe are periodically broken up by wars, epidemics of disease, drought, and other irresistible forces of nature, which force man to flee himself from the effects of his follies and start all over again. The same law of change, which levels the people of all nations to the baseline of the overall plan of the universe, applies with equal force to individuals who fail to interpret and adapt themselves to nature's laws. Conform to the overall plan or perish is nature's warning. The fears and the failures of men, the shocks and disappointments in human relations, all are designed to shake man loose from habits to which he so tenaciously clings, so he may adopt, embrace, and benefit by better habits of growth. The whole purpose of education, or so it should be at least, is to start the mind of the individual to growing and developing from within, to cause the mind to evolve and expand through constant changes in the thinking processes, so that the individual may eventually become acquainted with his own potential powers and thereby be capable of solving his personal problems. Evidence that this theory conforms with nature's plan may be found in the fact that the better educated people of all times are those who graduate from the great University of Hard Knocks, to experience which force them to develop and use their mind power. The law of change is one of the greatest of all sources of education. Understand this truth, and you will no longer oppose the changes which give you a wider scope of understanding of yourself and of the world at large, and you will no longer resist nature's breaking up of some of the habits you have formed, which have not brought you peace of mind or material riches. The traits the Creator most emphatically frowns upon in human beings are complacency, self-satisfaction, procrastination, fear, and self-imposed limitations, all of which carry heavy penalties which are exacted from those who indulge such traits. Through the law of change, man is forced to keep on growing. Whenever a nation, a business institution, or an individual ceases to change and settles into a rut of routine habits, some mysterious power enters and smashes the setup, breaks up the old habits, lays the foundation for new and better habits. And everything